Hello, you beautiful people. And James. And welcome back, guys. So today we bring you another Jordan Peterson. And today I thought we'd do a topic that I personally don't agree with. So it is Africa is not poor because of colonization. So I personally think it is because obviously it was stripped and ripped apart. So
Hmm.
I thought I'd bring a video where I don't agree with him
So you don't
and
think
see if it can
stripped and
change my
ripped
mind.
apart? You don't think stripped and ripped apart is colonization?
Well, no, no. What I'm saying is, obviously, he's trying to say that colonization didn't make Africa poor. I disagree because
Oh, I got
look,
you.
we
So
went
he
in.
don't think
Yeah,
he don't believe that your people messed everything up.
yes.
Gotcha.
Okay,
He
let's
doesn't
let.
believe that Europeans, that didn't wreck Africa. But I think we did because we went in, took all the natural resources, put in like fake kings and stuff like that, and we controlled.
Mm,
And then all of a sudden we left, and you
mm.
didn't know how to do businesses,
Y'all
negotiate.
should have never brought guns, weapons. Should have never brought it over there. That's because
Mm.
that's what they wanted after that, right?
Before we start,
Am I wrong?
what do you mean?
Europeans brought weapons to Africa,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Britain, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, cool.
It was the
Hmm.
British Empire.
Y'all got really quiet when I said that.
Yeah,
Oh no,
hey,
James went like this, so I was just like, I thought he was trying to
I
say something.
speak when I know, and if I don't know, I stay quiet. But
Okay.
did y'all
That's
know
awesome.
that y'all could click subscribe like I'm doing right now, and y'all could get us to this number in no time? If you haven't already and you're watching this video, hit the subscribe button, and you can even hit this little bell button if you feel like it.
No,
Well,
do it. It makes you feel
we
better.
we got enough of y'all
Alright.
watching us to get us
I'm ready.
really high numbers. I'm ready.
Let's get into
born
this. Let's see what Jordan Peterson got to say about Africa.
There we go.
ready. Okay.
Well, you list here in one of your articles where you make reference to these rating systems, the bottom 10 countries for doing business in the world: Chad, Haiti, Central African Republic, Congo, Democratic Republic, South Sudan, Libya, Yemen, Venezuela. There's a lovely example: Eritrea and Somalia. And so there are three exceptions in the African ecosystem: Mauritius, Rwanda, Kenya, South Africa, Botswana, and Zambia. You pointed out in your prospectus, is it prospectus article?
Prospectus article of
Right,
Artbridge
right.
Institute.
Right, that Mauritius is a rising star, and Rwanda is in some ways comparable to Georgia. So some of these countries have started to get this right.
Yes.
And so what's the consequence of that? And what does right mean?
What they have understood, what these countries have understood, is that economic freedom is at the
I like the
center
accent.
for prosperity building. Rwanda, for example, Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, is explicit about it. He said he wants to be the Lee Kuan Yew he wants to be the Singapore of Africa, and Lee Kuan Yew is his model. Now, the dirty mouths are gonna start shouting, "Oh yeah, see, authoritarian, blah blah blah," whatever. Me, I want to talk only about the on the economic side. If you take Lee Kuan Yew and Singapore as your example, then it means that, like him, you're gonna have to be serious about economic freedom. And that's exactly what he did. That's what Singapore did. When Singapore figured that out, they went on to put in the right reforms to make their environment some of the most business-friendly environments in the world, one of the most free markets environment in the world. And you saw the magic of Singapore. Today, Singapore is richer than its ex-colonizer,
Oh, of
Great
course.
Britain. So when I
Absolutely.
hear people telling me today, "Oh, Africa is poor because of colonization," I'm like, please, let's move on from that. Does it have maybe a tiny percentage in where we are today? Maybe, and I don't know. But I know it's not the cause. Because if it were, many countless countries have been colonized before. And by the way, colonizing one another is humanity's history. It just happened that maybe Africa has been one of the last, colonized region in the world. So in our psyche, it is there, and it.
Whoa, pause.
Yo,
That's true. Because you have to think the Romans did it, the Egyptians did it.
She's
This
speaking
is way
straight
before then.
facts. She's speaking
What?
straight facts.
Never even thought of that, man.
Yo, if you're watching this, you probably already seen the other video. If you haven't seen the other video, you could watch the other video that we actually learned about the one of the earlier wars. what was it called again?
The Punic War,
Yeah. So that's basically
between Rome and Carthage.
So we actually learned pretty much kind
Look
of
at
about
that.
this
Look at
already,
that.
and she's speaking on it as an African. She's not butthurt at all. So
Yeah.
she's like, it happened. Get over it.
And the thing, it's not even
Exactly.
just that. It just the fact that what she said that hit me the most is it happened to Africa last. That's why
Yeah.
we remember.
Yeah.
So it happened to the whole world, and then Africa was last,
Was
but everyone
last.
remembers. Yeah,
Which
This is a fresh wound.
yeah,
which we know it's happened several. Well, even that video we watched, it did happen to Africa, but we'll talk about that some other time. All right.
yeah. But obviously, it happened to Europe first. I think Europe and maybe the Islamic.
All right, Bulldog, you don't got to try to be first in everything.
I'm not saying us. I'm saying Europe and Islam. Thank you very much.
Okay, on a serious note, let's go ahead and see this through.
Yeah,
But and she's like, she basically say, "Hey, it happened. Get over it."
yeah.
Acts like nothing happened before to others, but flash news, it's the history of the world. We've been capturing each other back and forth, all of that. So anyway,
Yep.
but the truth is,
It's literally
Singapore,
going on right now.
richer than
Russia,
Great Britain
Ukraine.
today. And then
Say it with your chest this time, Bulldog. For people in the
Say
back,
it,
say it
say it.
again.
Yep.
Yeah, it's literally happening right now. Russia war against Ukraine. They're literally invading to take land because they want it.
And what are they going to do there when they get there? They're going to colonize, right? Because they broke some shit.
Yeah. They're going to install the Russian culture.
So
That's
this
exactly
is still,
what they're doing.
it's happened before, and it's still
Yeah.
happening. I mean, it's
I think-
sad, but what she just said, it's the nature of human kind. Excuse me.
We're aggressive.
We are.
Yeah. I just
Very
hope
aggressive.
Putin doesn't win because he's going to flatten Ukraine and use it as an oil field.
Nah, dude, Ukraine are pushing back hard, mate. They're literally taking loads of ground. Like
That's what I'm talking about.
America's missile system's hugely helping them. It's like a mobile missile unit on.
Oh, we know.
Legend.
We know.
Yeah.
we-
Smashing the
we-
but the
Russians.
truth is,
Yes, sir.
We got
Singapore,
big guns.
richer than Great Britain today. And then Hong Kong happened. And then because Hong Kong happened, China even today happened. Because China's like, wait a minute, what went on over there? And then China went on to do the exact same thing with its SEZs, the special economic zones, some of the most free market zones in the world. And then look at it happen in communist China, who, when it comes to economics, decided that we're going to do the free market, we're going to be capitalist, because that's the only way. We tried everything else. We killed hundreds of millions of people, and we have nothing to show for it. But now that we're tired of being disrespected members of society, because guess what? That's the other thing too. You want to be respected in this world? You're going to have to be among the prosperous ones for other reasons.
Absolutely.
Would it be nice, G, that
Yes,
we respect
yes.
people just because?
I knew it.
Absolutely.
Like, look at
But
Dubai
that's really
now.
not the world we live in.
Like, go back 20 years, I don't know, maybe not, maybe a bit longer than 20 years. No one really cared. They found oil and invested their money so well. You look at the city of Dubai, one of the richest cities in the world.
If
Like,
not the.
your normal car is a goddamn supercar Ferrari. A taxi is a bloody McLaren. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Dubai, and that's because they invested well. But they're like a royalty thing as well, so they're not really what's it called? Oh, what she said, like capitalists. They weren't really capitalists until they
Yeah.
started making the money, and then they
Yeah.
invested it well.
It's
Capitalism,
money. It's
Absolutely.
money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
exactly.
What she
But
said.
the thing about that-
What she said straight up right now. Respect is on a different level right now. Like if you don't
Yep.
got nothing, you ain't nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wanna-
exactly.
I want to talk about oil in another video, man.
Okay.
About
Yeah.
the oil stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
event.
The dying
So when China got tired of being disrespected, they're like, maybe we got to build also some prosperity here because then they're going to hear us. And today, China, being one of the, being where it is at, even Hollywood, who tries to tell the world how to think, is being told by China what movies to make and how to tweak stories and
Oh.
history in order to be palatable for them. You see
Yeah,
the
if that's
power
what
Pause.
that comes with.
for like
you-
no, like loads of films. If there's any gay kissing and that, it's not allowed in for China. They have to edit it in a different way to be released in China. That they literally tell them how to edit their videos to be able to be in China.
Oh, so what we have here, we have to re-edit it to publish it there.
Yeah, in China. Yeah. So we see a completely different movie time. Like also, so say when you see like cartoons and that, they have round eyes, but for the Asians, they change it for them as well, their culture. So they change a lot. Like, so say Frozen in America will be different to China.
I want to watch
Gotcha.
China's Frozen. Let's go.
with being prosperous.
What would you recommend concretely to countries like Senegal to get the hell out of the way, let's say, of the people who would, like you, would do everything they could to try to make it better? I mean, one of the things that happened with India is India established the Indian Institute of Technology, which is a deadly engineering school, and a huge number of its graduates went to Silicon Valley, as you well know.
Yep.
And many of the successful Indian graduates of IIT started to dump money back into India and build a capitalist infrastructure there, or help build a capitalist infrastructure there. So this sort of thing can really take hold. If you were making recommendations to governments who wanted to get on board and stop being like Chad, Haiti, Central African Republic, Congo, South Sudan, Libya, Yemen, and Venezuela, etc., what concrete steps should they take from the bottom up to get the hell out of the way?
Exactly. So two things we've been doing, because I'm a practitioner, as that's my entrepreneurial journey. I'm an entrepreneur, so I practice what I preach, but I also preach. I preach for free markets, and so when it comes to that, I'm one of the hats that I wear is as the director for the African Center for Prosperity of the Atlas Network, the largest organization in the world of free market think tanks around the world. And so what we do there is we work on reforms around the world to take down barriers of entry for local entrepreneurs. So that's one thing. But as we all know, that's a great initiative to take, and we've been making some really good advances in many countries, especially in Ghana. We've been making a lot of progress with our partners there, Imani. But that is piecemeal legislation. It takes forever. It is hard as heck. And by the time you made a gain here, you made 20 losses over there, and it's a continuous problem. But until we get better, we got to continue at it. So that's one thing we've been doing. And so that's a hat I wear, working with free market think tanks to try to make it easier for local entrepreneurs to join in the party. Additionally, I'm going bold. I'm going radical. For the past few years, we've been advocating an idea for Africa that found some of its roots in Latin America. And again, I'm related to the people who are involved in this. My husband being one of the key figures in this movement, a movement called the Charter Cities. Paul Romer calls it like that. He's a Nobel laureate in economics. Others call it the Free Cities. I like to call it the Startup Cities. So the best way to think about it, Jordan, and it goes back to what you were talking about earlier when you use the word operating software. Most of the most of the low-income nations, so meaning back in the days, the way we used to call it is poor nations, they have regulations for poverty. They're basically regulated for poverty, meaning the laws, the set of law, poverty. It only calls poverty. And so what some of these folks have thought about, looking at the Dubai example, Dubai just recently entered the top 10 of international financial centers of the world. And what Dubai did at some point is think about it and be like, on this bare, plot of sand that's technically worth nothing right now as is, this 110 acres of land, sand everywhere. They're like, well, maybe Sharia law is not the best for business. We got to think about better set of laws for business. We're talking only about business, not family law, not anything else, but business. And they decided there's got to be something better. And so they looked around, and that's actually when, to take one of the terms you used earlier, they're starting to realize, common law is actually a better way for business, specifically British common law. So at that point, and I'm oversimplifying here because otherwise we can totally geek out on it.
You know what that is? Can you dumb it down?
Depends what she's on about, which law.
Oh, okay. Well, I think let's see if she's going to explain it.
I think she says British common law, so whatever that is.
Yeah. Depends.
Remember, this is like one of my latest things that I've been involved in, but latest, it's been the past 10 years, and I'm going to share with you a win. So Dubai is like, we have to adopt British, common law, primarily British common law. We're going to hire retired British common law judges to come and educate the law here, train our own people, and that, along with many other reforms, to also become a top center when it comes to the and in the free market when it comes to the finances. Dubai.
That British common law system. So it's very, very interesting theologically and metaphysically. So it's predicated on the idea that people have every individual has all the rights that there are, except for those that are specifically regulated and limited by legal necessity. And then generally that realm of necessity has emerged only as a consequence of disputes between people. So you're free to do whatever you want unless you have a dispute with someone else. Then the dispute is adjudicated according essentially to constitutional and theological principles, and then a precedent is established. And then the whole body of law built up that body of precedents.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's bottom up, not top down.
It's totally
and
right.
English common law is a gift from God, man.
No,
it's something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
that's
that's the
true,
key
actually,
word
yeah.
there when you said bottom up. So common law is so much better for bottom up approaches. And we all know that markets work better in a bottom up approach. And also, when they have to educate the law and resolve a dispute, they're going to be much more respectful to the contract that was passed between the two parties than, say, civil
I
law
see what
would
they're
be.
saying.
Right?
I know what they're on
And
about
so,
now.
anyway, so
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 common
Stu-
law is what they practice and what British practice, and here in the States, it's civil law.
No, no, because you have civil law as well. But I think right about business. So say there was a contract that you agreed on, then someone tried to mess up the contract and not adhere to it. It'll go to court. You can go and then you can get them. They'll make sure that the contract's seen through. So if it's been signed, that's it. It's law. Like you've signed that contract. So whoever's the one who doesn't see the contract through is the one that's in trouble.
Oh
Basically.
yeah, I
So
understood.
that's business. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if we were like here in the States, are we civil or common? Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
Anyone in comments? I'm pretty sure you know. Right?
Yeah, right.
Pretty sure. Yeah, no. And Bulldog's always wrong.
So pretty
from
much
the-
what she's trying to say is if Dubai can do it, Africa should be able to do it.
Yeah, because they had Sharia law, which is a strict Muslim regime of law that you need to do. And they thought, okay, for business, like for
Right.
everyday life, it'll stay the same as Sharia law. But for business, we need to change it up
Right.
Yeah.
because Sharia law doesn't work for business.
Yeah, and they haven't changed yet.
And all this is tied together with colonization.
Yes.
Yeah, because
she's
she's-
what?
Look, on, bud.
Yes, because she's saying that Africa's stuck in its old ways because hey, we lost this, we lost that due to colonization. She's saying,
Oh.
cool, but so have all these other countries, but they were able to build out of it. So why can't we get stuck? Why are we stuck in this ways? And we're blaming it on, because we were this and we were that. Let's go ahead and get to the 21st century and let's put that behind us.
Right.
So
Alright,
that,
cool.
that's what she's part of all these other organizations that's trying to get Africa into these financial status, I guess.
Yeah, back into like the modern day of business, basically.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what she's
There's
on
no
about.
reason to still be so
Yeah,
low.
like-
That's what she's
Yeah.
saying.
And the thing is, the main thing it comes down to is corruption in government. That's literally it.
Absolutely.
That's literally what's stopping these countries.
Hey, I stumbled on something that they were saying this about Africa. They said Africa has nothing we need. Like that's messed up to say.
Because they already took it.
They said,
They took it
but don't they know Africa is one of the richest mineral?
Yeah, it's still
the world?
there's still loads there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing
it-
is that we're I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think they're digging it up for the batteries being used here, and we're messing
Oh, for
Africa up. Yeah,
The technology stuff. Yeah, but then
Wow.
also that's
But-
still
but
down
Africa's
to
not
that
making money.
government.
No.
yeah,
Because
Africa's not making money.
Yeah, they're not.
No, Africa won't be. The government, the people at the top will, but they
Yes.
don't filter it down. They just keep
Yes.
it at the top.
Yep,
But then
that's
all
what
the
she's
other
talking about.
countries,
That's that
Yeah,
top
yeah,
going.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
All right. Well, yeah.
And-
Yep.
and that's why she's on about it's better to come from the bottom up because that means every little man can make a business,
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
it builds up. You get bigger and bigger.
So the three of us,
Capitalism.
we know a little bit about a little bit. So if we speak out of turn,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead and correct us.
Yeah.
We don't mind being corrected. Just
There you go.
And we're only saying what we know, so we could be wrong. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
unless it's
Well, there is
Bulldog.
because you're wrong. But
Yeah. All right.
Sure.
All right. We got seconds left. Let's get it going.
this standpoint here, you have Dubai who's now trying to put all of this together, and eventually they put a set of laws together that would now be conducive to being a top international financial center in the world. And voila, in less than a generation, in less than 25 years, Dubai completely unrecognizable.
What you just said.
yeah,
What you just said.
Smashed it.
Exactly what I just said.
yeah.
Cool.
Wow, that was not what I thought it was going to be. But
Not
it was
all-
definitely
Hey,
eye-opening.
but look, the world needs to see this. Africa's trying to be like Dubai. Let's go. I like that
Yeah.
movement.
and the thing is, like, who's gonna deny she's literally an African woman? So I
Yeah.
bet you have some like white guy be like, no, she's wrong. Okay, dude.
Watch your pronouns.
White person, bulldog.
Watch your pronouns.
Oh no, like white unicorn. Sorry, I don't know what they want to be.